and I'm a journalism student here at the University of Florida. And I think you mentioned free speech in the last conversation about 6 or 7 times. What do you think is the precedent that it sets when a sitting president bans a news organization from the press pool because they won't use the government-approved terminology that's on your shirt?
It's perfectly acceptable. The same way that Joe Biden banned a lot of conservative media from the reporting room. I mean,
Joe Biden didn't ban any conservative.
Breitbart, One America's News Network, Real America's Voice. There were a lot of press passes that were denied under the prior administration under Joe Biden.
Joe Biden did not have control over the White House press pool. That's an independent organization that has functioned for the last 50 years.
Well, if that's correct, why did the judge side with Trump?
Excuse me?
So AP sued Trump.
Yeah.
And lost because Trump actually does have jurisdiction over the White House press pool.
Trump does not have jurisdiction over the White House press pool. The judge ruled that it wasn't an immediate emergency.
Okay, but let me ask you, I think it's an interesting question.
I believe the judge did say that it was very concerning.
If Trump does not have power over who's allowed on White House grounds, who does?
An independent organization that's separate from politics, because I think it's very concerning when the government gets to choose who covers them.
No, I think that's an interesting question. So, constitutionally, what you're saying is that an independent organization should be allowed to say who could set foot on government turf.
Yes.
How is that constitutional?
Well, I mean, it's not part of the press has never been part of the Constitution.
Well, no, it's actually in the First Amendment. But like,
no, the First Amendment says that Congress shall pass no law abridging the freedom of the press.
No, I know, correct. But Article 2 of the Constitution, it says all power shall be vested in a president. So doesn't the president have the ability, the power, if he so chooses, of who comes on Article 2 ground and who does not?
So the president should not have control over who covers him. I mean, would you support...
they can still cover him outside of White House grounds.
Would you support Joe Biden banning Fox News from the White House press pool?
Would I support it? No, I'd be outraged about it, obviously.
So do you understand the outrage when the AP is banned?
But he has the power to do it. Outrage and power are two different things. So
absolutely.
You're making a constitutional argument and then a moral argument. I can get to the moral one. Does Trump have the power to do it?
Yes.
Okay, we agree. So he's not doing anything illegal.
I would not say he's doing anything
illegal. Okay, we agree. Now, is he doing anything wrong? Well, the Associated Press is deciding not to call what was once called the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. That is not living in factual or journalistic reality. That's them saying that we're going to name whatever we want to name whenever we want. Why should they continue to get a White House press pass when they do that?
So they're an international organization and they have international standards. The Associated Press doesn't just do news for the US, and nobody else calls the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And I think the more pressing issue is you have somebody choosing the terminology that a news organization can use.
Well, okay, I can kind of see where you're coming at, but I would say more pressingly, though,
I think that's the most pressing.
The president does have the authority to rename gulfs, rivers, mountains legally.
Yeah, he could name Mount Rushmore Mount Trump.
Yeah, he could. Yeah. Well, just wait, it might happen. So, but I guess more concretely, how is it an attack on the press to say that you're not allowed on White House grounds if you don't comply with our standards? It's just a matter of standards.
Because it fosters a culture of retaliation if you don't use the government-approved terminology.
Okay, so?
So?
Yeah, like for example, if they call him President John, not President Trump, how should that be treated?
They should be allowed to call him whatever they want. It's the press.
Yes, and then the president should be able to act on whatever he wants in response to that.
The guard on the press is not the president. The guard on the press is the people.
Hold on a second.
We live in a free market, no?
The president, the same way Congress allows what press to come on Capitol Hill and whatever, the president can choose, I don't want you in the White House press pool anymore. They could still write blogs and articles that nobody reads down the street. But to invite them onto White House grounds is a privilege, not a right. To come onto White House grounds is something that can be taken away from you by bad behavior, reckless behavior, by doing things that are inaccurate or unfactual.
Specifically not using government-approved terminology.
I mean, but what terminology are they using? One that is not correct. I mean, we're talking past each other in some ways, but I am curious, though. How is it, would you say that we have a freer press under Trump or a freer press under Joe Biden?
I honestly couldn't answer that question.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Love it or hate it, Charlie, of course, did what most of us would appreciate, right? And the whole thing of him trying to talk to people who disagree with him is really amazing. I wish we all embody the spirit of agreeing to disagree. That no matter who they are, no matter what their viewpoints are, we will listen to them. We will hear their own side, and we might not necessarily agree with them, but we will hear them out. Because it's very important for us to talk and get to hear what each other has got to say. There is this speculation that this Charlie's approach of talking with people might have contributed to what happened to him. Remember, this is just a speculation. Since the FBI and all the other investigative bodies in the United States cannot give us a concrete timeline of what really happened, people have no choice but to comfort with their own, speculations. And so there was this one that says that because Charlie was trying to unite the divide, Charlie was trying to bring together the divide. So the establishment saw it as a threat. They saw him as a threat, and they had no choice but to take him out. Remember, the divide and rule policy has been very, very effective. The elites, the billionaires, the politicians have used divide and rule policy on us like every single time. And whenever it is being used, it works flawlessly. It is very effective. I am from Africa, and I know exactly what I'm telling you about. The divide and rule policy is one of the best ever policy you could ever think of. Because remember, when a people are united, you can never, ever broke them apart, or you can never, ever treat them poorly. You can never, ever take them for granted. But when they are divided within themselves, that is when they are open to manipulations, to deception, and to lies. The only way you can control a people is to break them down into small, small groups. Let me tell you one country that this policy has worked like 100%. That is Cameroon. Cameroon is a small country in Central Africa. The ruling party has managed to control the country for many years because they were able to break them down from the very beginning into very small, small pieces. And do you know what they did? They pit them against each other. That's what they did. Oh, this is from this side. Oh, that is from that side. On the north and the southwest, they should not come together. The northwest is better. The southwest is better. As the people from the northwest and the southwest kept on fighting each other, the ruling party in Yaoundé, the capital, was very happy. When the people were divided within themselves, that was a great opportunity for the ruling party in Yaoundé to control all of them. Because everyone became too watchful of the other person. Now, rather than the government or the ruling party trying to figure out who was the bad potato in their own opinion that would spoil the whole thing, the people themselves were doing that. They were watching each other. They were writing each other out. And it became so easy, super easy for the ruling party to suppress all of them. And it is the same thing we are now seeing in the West. Same thing. Charlie did his part to talk to people. Charlie went out there talking with people. This is what I think we all must embody. And I know in Africa, we do not have this luxury of speaking your mind. Whenever you cross a certain line when it comes to talking about people in power, know that you are going to go in for it. There is this saying that is being used most of the time. You have freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of association. But there's no guarantee of freedom after you've said what you wanted to say or express how you felt. There's no freedom after that. Now you have freedom to do it. You can do it if you want. No one is stopping you. You can do it. But remember, after you've done it, well, anything can happen to you. Anything can happen to you. That is exactly what we face in Africa. And sometimes when you look at the West, especially America, with their whole freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of association, you really, really envy them. You feel like, wow, how I wish we in our own country could freely express our thoughts and opinions without worrying what will come after that. How I wish.